Hello, and thanks for tuning in. Today I wanted to do a review on a survival kit that's commonly found online with many vendors, Amazon, eBay, etc. This is the IFAC survival kit by Supology, Getting More Fun. It's listed as a 131 piece survival kit, but in the description it's listed as a 129 in one kit. So we'll find out exactly how many pieces come in it. It has a 4.5 star rating with 172 reviews on Amazon, and it's currently listed for $39.99. Included in it from the descriptions shows a knife, a flashlight, tactical pen, fire starter, combustion rope, outdoor bracelet, life blanket, whistle, carabiner, raincoat, wire saw, tool card, and a first aid kit. This is listed on here as a professional emergency survival equipment. It might be a lifesaver while you're stuck in the wild. I don't know if it's professional at its price, but we're gonna see. Like I said, there's some discrepancies in the description. It measures in what the manufacturer says at about 11 inches, 7.5 by 5.25. They say it weighs 1.2 kilos. So that's about 2.5 pounds. And we're gonna go ahead and open this thing up, take a look at it, each individual piece, see the quality of it, and see if this is actually worth getting in today's world. You know, survival and being prepared is more prevalent than that now than it ever was. So the bag itself is made out of like a Condor 550 or denim material. It's got Molle webbing on it, and this is rubber. A couple zippers. It's pretty hefty. It's got a Molle strap on the back and a regular like book bag handle and 2 zippers. So we're gonna get it opened up and laid out and take a look at everything inside of it. Okay, we got everything laid out. As you can see, it's a pretty generous kit. It comes with a lot of things. I believe in order for them to hit the 131 or 29 item mark that they have on there, they're counting the alcohol pads that come in it and the Q-tips and everything individually. But we'll see. I'll give a quick pan around of the actual items so that you can see them. And the little bag it comes in has some elastic and pockets in there, so it holds things in pretty well. Alright, we'll get everything set up over in another section so we can look at every item one by one. Okay, the first item we're going to look at is the solar powered LED lantern. It's made by World's Leading. Mars is the brand. It has 4 light modes with a sleep mode, battery power indicator. It's inflatable. It lays flat. Showing 8 hours in the sun will give you 36 hours of light. Just looking at the back here. It's a weatherproof IPX7 rating, -20 Celsius to -40 Celsius. Made in China. And here it is. And it does compress flat. So I'm going to turn off the light here so we can see how this looks. Alright, so we'll click it once, and that's low, medium, and high. And it's pretty bright. It lights up the room really well. And then we have SOS mode. And again, this is pretty decently bright. It is solar powered, and it does deflate, so it takes up not that much space. And I'll deflate it and show you how flat it gets. And it pretty much cuts its size by I don't know, at least 1/10 of the size when you squish it down. So that's the first item. The second item we're going to look at is the emergency thermal blanket. And this is a durable and compact design. It retains up to 90% of body heat, non-toxic reusable material, waterproof, windproof, multi-usage ground covering, build a shelter. They can be used as a signaling device to shine sunlight up to aircraft, staying dry in the rain. Just a Mylar blanket. Open it up and take it out and see how cheap it feels. Alright, it's pretty thin, but it'll definitely do the trick. It's just like any other emergency thermal blanket. It feels like it's pretty big. So I'm going to get this back in the package so I don't damage it or lose it. Alright, so the emergency thermal blanket is the second item. So the first two items are definitely good to have. The next two items we're going to take a look at are just some chemical sticks, some chem sticks, glow in the dark. And I'm not sure what colors we got. It's showing red and red. So let's see. Oh, red and orange. There we go. Red and orange. So I'll open one up just so we can take a look at it and see how it looks. Okay, well, they do include a piece of rope, which is nice. And this is your chem stick. I really like that they include rope to hang it off of, and then this rope can actually be used and repurposed after the glow stick goes out. Let's see what the packaging says on this thing. See how many hours it is. Bend and snap, full glow can take a few minutes. It does not say how long, so usually they're about an hour or so, hour or more. So you get two of them, an orange and a red. That's good for signaling if something happens. The next item we're going to take a look at is the emergency shelter. So they do include a massive emergency shelter here. It's ideal for hikers and runners in remote areas where a protective emergency shelter might instantly be required. Shelter is a massive 8 feet by 5 feet and comes with 20 feet of cord. Outdoor essentials. There it is. And there's the rope. Let me feel this and see if this feels like that Mylar thermal blanket there. And it does. It feels just like, actually this might be a little thicker. No. It feels like the same material. So this is the same material as the thermal blanket. So this is just a bigger sheet. So this would be your thermal tent. Again, not bad. Thoughtful that they included the rope and everything with it. This could definitely be coming in handy if you're out in the woods and you are, like the package said, stuck out there at night or something, and the temperatures dip if you're in the desert or if it's winter time. So this emergency shelter will definitely come in handy, and it was folded in half, kind of like this when it was in there. So it didn't do any damage, so it is flexible. So that would be the fifth item, because we have the lantern, the thermal blanket, 2 glow sticks, and the shelter. So sixth item we're going to look at is the pocket raincoat. Tour for outside, outdoor work, watching the sports events, be easy to carry about. This thing it feels cheap. It feels really cheap. You might get one use out of this thing. Scared to even pull it out. The glue might get stuck on it. Oh yeah, that thing is cheap. It's got a button on there. So it must, hope that it feels like a trash bag. It's better than nothing. So yeah, there's buttons down the front of it. So I wouldn't expect to get 1 or 2 uses out of this thing before something happened, like it ripped or something. It just feels really, really cheap, like it's like a really cheap trash bag from the kitchen. So that's the 6th item. Okay, the 7th item we're gonna look at is a Paracore bracelet with compass, a whistle, get that in focus, a whistle, and it looks like some type of Ferris rod fire starter. So I don't know if this is going to be considered multiple items in one, but it does have a decent amount of paracord, 550 cord on there. There's that a fire starter. I did test this compass and it is fairly accurate. I tested it against a compass watch that I have that's set by atomic time, and the compass is auto calibrating, and it lined up very close to ours. So this cheap kit with this compass is definitely can work. We'll try the whistle. No, that whistle don't work at all. So the whistle don't work. It's useless. You see my slobber on there. So the 8th item we'll take a look at is the Spork spoon knife combination. Looks like a fork, a sawed knife, some type of can opener, and a spoon. The metal is not super strong. I can bend it. I can feel it bending when I twist it with my hand, but to eat off of, it's pretty good, and I think that's a great included item, because there's been many times where I've been out in the field and I did not have a fork or a spoon, and I was upset, and I usually had to resort to using my knife or my fingers to eat, and that's not very sanitary. So that would be the 8th item. The 9th item is going to be another whistle. Feels like it's aluminum. Yes, this one does work, and I probably will be loud. I didn't want to blow it too loud. So that's a decent item to have. 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so the 10th item is a fishing lure kit. Looks like it comes with some line, couple bobbers, couple weights, and a fishing hook and some bait. So this is very good. This is a complete little fishing kit here, and I'm sure you can fish with this. The hooks, actually I think it comes with 2 hooks. You get 1 large hook and 1 smaller hook, and it is a barbed hook just like a regular fishing hook is. So that's decent to have. The next item, which will be the 11th item, is a chainsaw. These things are always in every survival kit. Feels good. It's got swivel handles. It's crimped on pretty nice. It's just your standard wire saw. The 12th item is going to be a multi-tool survival pocket card. It's like one of those knife ninja things or wallet ninja things that you see everywhere that everybody's copied now. It's made out of stainless steel. It's got a can opener, knife edge, screwdriver, ruler, cap opener, 4-position wrench for various nuts and bolt heads, butterfly wrench, saw blade, directional ancillary indicator, 2-position wrench, and a lanyard keyhole ring. And then it tells you what each one does over here. So this is a good tool to have. Twelfth item is a flashlight. Mine did not come with a battery. It's bright for close quarter areas and it's adjustable to thin to wide beam. Any more out than about 5 feet and this thing is trash. I guess that's good to have, so you have a little bit of light, but it's not that great. As you can see, the LED is not a big one at all, and it does take a AA battery, if I'm not mistaken. Let me open it up real quick. Yeah, it takes a AA battery. So that did not come with the kit, and pretty sure most of these kits coming in from China won't have batteries because of the custom restrictions. You see there it does a strobe. So it has a couple different settings. That's high, low, and strobe. Alright, the 13th item we have is a carabiner. It shows a guy rock climbing on it. I don't know about rock climbing on it. This does have a safety latch hook on it, but it does not have the slide up part that actually locks it, so I wouldn't trust my life with this thing. It does feel pretty robust. I did try and pull it to bend it and I can't by hand, so at least it's a little better than the cheap ones you find everywhere for keys. But this I would just use to hang stuff, you know, the lantern, or use it to help with the emergency blanket setup. But that's pretty cheap, that carabiner. Then we have a tactical pen and window breaker. The point on this thing is pretty sharp. The pen, it feels good. I've already tested it, it writes, it's retractable, and it does look like it is a sealed cartridge pen. Let me get this off here. Yeah, so it's decent. At least they give you a decent pen in there, and it's got an O-ring, I guess, to keep dirt and everything out of there. Get this thing back together. Alright, and it's got a little clip, and like I said, the tip is pretty sharp, pretty pointy. I'm sure you could break a window with it. This will come in handy. I don't know about the pen side, maybe to write something, but handy to have. Got a whole bunch of bobby pins, so quite a few of them, maybe 10 of them. Could be used for anything, fishing hook, lure, whatever. The next item we have is a Ferris rod fire starter, but a larger one. This is actually a pretty good size. It has a knuckle handle there, and you've got a scraper with what looks to be a can opener, about 50 millimeters of measurement. And on the back side there we got, it looks like for a map, it's a scale on a map. I don't know what map you use, 1 in 100,000ths, but this is a Ferris metal rod, and it creates spark to get a fire going, which will roll right into the next item here, which is some, it says R&W rope, but I'm sure this is like a cheap copy of the Raw company and their rope. But you get 2 pieces, and it's pretty decent. They feel like they are wax coated or something. They've got like a wax coating on them. I'm sure this is good tinder material, so you get a good bit of it. It's probably 6-7 feet here. Alright, the next item that they give you is a switchblade type knife. It's got a belt clip, seat belt cutter, there's a razor in there, window breaker, and this is a spring assisted knife. So it does open pretty quickly. I was surprised if this thing came with it. The metal's not that great. It is kind of cheap metal, so I wouldn't go like stabbing hard things with it. You know, it might break if you hit some wood with it. It's got your regular thumb lock, thumb brake cam there. And like I said, it is spring assisted, so it's pretty surprised about that. And it is pretty sharp. Let me get a piece of paper to show you. Give me a second, I'm trying to find a blank piece of paper. So I found an envelope for now. You see it cuts pretty well. Cuts in there pretty well. No problems cutting into it. It's a very thick envelope. So this is a good item to have for sure. And it's a one-hand operation, so if something happens and you get one of your hands injured, you have another one. Alright, the next thing we're going to look at is the first aid kit. And this is the pouch that came in, just like a little pack. And we're going to take a look at everything that came in it. You get a set of surgical scissors. These feel extremely cheap. There's sharp edges on the plastic that caught my finger when I was using it. But these things feel super cheap. They probably will cut, but I wouldn't know for how long, or I wouldn't trust them for how long. And we'll take a look at the envelope we're cutting with the knife, and you know, it cuts. So it'll cut, but who knows for how long. They just feel super, super cheap. Alright, you get 2 non-sterile pads in there, or non-adherent sterile pads. They guarantee them being sterile as long as the package is closed. Gives you some instructions on there how to use them. It's just 2 basically gauze pads in there. Alright, you get an elastic bandage. It's a wide one, 10 by 450 centimeters. Then they give you another smaller one, which is 5 by 450 centimeters. Super stretchy. You get a set of tweezers, and they are in a sterile bag, so I would advise keeping them in there until you need to use them. They give you some tape with an expiration date on it. I'm not sure why. The next item is a piece of rubber elastic to maybe stop blood flow or administer an IV or something. Just some medical rubber to tie stuff off. The next item is a bandage triangular, so a triangle band-aid, and there's the sizes, and it does come with some clips. It does have a expiration date of 2025, so 5 years. I'm not sure why these have expiration dates. If you don't, nothing that can expire really. It's cotton. Maybe for the guarantee of being sterile. We got some iodine prep pads here. These are professional hospital use. They give you 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of those. That's good to have. They give you 10 alcohol pads, actually, 2, 4, 6, 8, yep, 10 alcohol pads. So you get 10 alcohol prep pads, 70% isopropyl alcohol. It's good for cleaning wounds. They give you some cheap band-aids. So again, it's guaranteed sterile unless it's opened or damaged. And they give you probably 10 of these as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 2 packs of 5. And they expire 2023. They're decent sized band-aids. And the last item we have here is a pack of Q-tips. So they are I don't know what numbers was on there, but there's probably, I don't know, 20 or 30 in there. It says these are sterile, they're wooden tip, so you can actually use this wood, save this wood to burn if you need it. So now I'm going to count the items, make sure, see how many we got, and like I said, I'm pretty sure they counted the individual items in these things. Okay, so we counted each item individually, and if you count them down to the individual item, like the single Band-Aid, the single Q-tip, you will come up with the 131 items that the manufacturer says is in the bag. So yes, technically they do include 131 items, but there's not 131 different items. You know, there's probably 30 plus Q-tips, you know, 10 Band-Aids. So overall, for 40 bucks, this is a decent entry-level, I wouldn't call it a survival kit because there's nothing to purify water or anything with. A survival kit is usually well-rounded. And if you guys want to see a well-rounded survival kit that I actually built, just drop a comment below and I'll make a video on it. But for a starter kit, this is definitely a good kit. Like I said, I'm waiting for the manufacturer to get back to me on a bag because the bag that I ordered came with a flag and a little cross, not with their brand name splashed across it, and I don't like it. It's kind of tacky. So I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.